welcome back. Obviously, I'm not in Korea, but going through all this footage, I can't believe I'm still doing these things, but there was just no A-roll. It was all B-roll, and looking at it, I'm like, oh, the only conversation that we had in that B-roll was actually me talking to Lynn about the place and what was going on in America at the time. So yeah, let's go ahead and get a little bit more going here. This is Naju Image Park, also known as Samhanji Park. This is in Naju, which is just a little distance from the what was it? Seongbuk Four River View Seongbuk, the dam or the lock that I was just at. And it's kind of like nice because you could actually hit both up on the same day since you're just taking the same road. Mind you, it is a tiny road and it was raining quite hard at this time. That might have been the reason why there was no one at this theme park when I was there, and I was able to drive right on up to the gate and park right next to the entrance. The parking lot is tiny though, so maybe that's another factor of why it's just not that popular, maybe. Now, I will say that it is famous for a couple of Korean dramas. The one that's like the main one that everyone talks about apparently is Jumong. And then I know it from Tokebi, aka Goblin. And so, although the scenes from Goblin are so rare, I think, or so few. There aren't that many back in the day, because this whole Naju Image Theme Park is of the ancient era of Korea, or Boomyong era. I might have to write it on the screen here, of Korea, and they do an excellent job. Coming up to the gate, like I said, the place where you pay for the tickets to get in is like these ancient storehouses, and everything is of the era, I feel. And I'm no Korean historian, so I don't know. And admittedly, most architecture there blends, so I couldn't tell you what the difference between eras were either. But it was really cool. Like right after the entrance, there was you have to walk up a hill, and along the sides of the road as you go up the hill are imprints of hands, kind of like the Hollywood Walk of Stars or whatnot, where they have the China Theater in Hollywood. They have all the handprints. Well, they do the same thing, except as you go up the hill, it's of all the movie stars, I believe, that were that acted there. And so that was really cool. The front gate that you saw coming in is like that frontier gate that you have to walk through. And then the second gate that's at the top of the hill after all the hand imprints is like the city gate you could see. And it's pretty massive. I would say that aside from just being in the front there, it's actually, there are other parts of the gate around the actual park, and so you could actually walk to those areas as well. And then they also, since it's a gate, it surrounds like your peasantry, I don't know, like the normal humans, right? Not the rich, or not like the kings or emperors. And those were kind of cool homes. It was funny because there was like these Polynesian or maybe African influences, I feel, that were around there, but that's a video for another day, I suppose. They also had many like rich people homes that you could walk through, and in one of them there was like this like drum area or like music area, and I noticed that there was 4 drums that were out that you could beat on. They also had many palaces, or palace sets, I should say. So there's like the main palace that you could walk up to. It's pretty impressive. I kind of wonder if they did the Disneyland thing where they built the top smaller than the bottom, so it gives you that perspective that it's much larger than it actually is. You could also walk along the different levels of the palace, which was pretty cool. So there's like different floors, I should say, on the exterior. The interior was very simple. There was like a throne room that you could walk over to, and there was like a massive throne that you could see. Other than that, there was just your standard fare. There was like a cool pagoda in the back. that had this great view from the mountain. It was along, again, that border fence that I was talking about, or the border gate that I was talking about. And then there's also all these great covered hallways that you could walk down and through. And I was just walking down most of those because, like I said before, it was raining, and that was kind of like a downer. But really, it was just, overall, it was an awesome time. Like, it was something really different to see, and it's cool because Naju is actually in between the two places that I was trying to get to, Mokpo being my final destination here, I believe. So that was really cool to be able to just stop off for a couple hours and see a theme park. I actually don't even think I spent a couple hours there. It's not that expensive to get in, and I would say that you don't actually need all that much, particularly if there's no one here, like it was while I was there, and when it was raining, you just kind of go in and out of the places. I do remember there being like a little museum of like all the movie star stuff. I didn't actually have any footage of that though, so unfortunately there's no B-roll of that, but I do recall going into rooms that had like costumes and stuff that the movie stars wore when they were acting there, and that was kind of cool as well. Other than that, I would say this is a great place to go to if you're like into the K-drama of like the ancient era kingdom and whatnot, because you could really get an up close and personal look at all the different styles of buildings and sets that they kind of use in those dramas, which is really cool. But I'm thinking, yeah, that's really it. Other than that, it was worth going to. I'm happy that I was on the way to my next destination and that I got to visit. Other than that, we'll see you in the next video.